crucifixion of Jesus is the most powerful moment in all of The Chosen, and now we're starting to see exactly how far they're going to take it in Season 6. Leaked images, exclusive behind-the-scenes clips, and actor posts confirm that the production has entered its most brutal, emotional, and historically intense chapter yet. They are filming in Italy, on the same hill where the Passion of the Christ was shot, and the emotional weight of that choice is already visible. What struck fans immediately was the level of physical realism. In one scene that has surfaced through leaks, a Roman soldier stands with a hammer poised above the wooden cross. Jesus is not in frame, but the hammer drops again and again. The sound echoes. And even without showing his face, the horror is unmistakable. What we're seeing in these leaks is not just blood, it's grief. It's anger. It's the silence of those watching something sacred be torn apart. Characters like Mary, John, and even Pilate's wife Claudia are all present in these moments. Some are screaming, some are sobbing, some are simply frozen. But there is one thread tying them together, an unbearable heartbreak that bleeds off the screen. Jenkins, the director and creator, appears between takes in some of the videos, holding cast members, crying with them, offering words of encouragement. And yet even he, the one holding the vision together, looks like he's barely holding on. Jonathan Roumie, who plays Jesus, hasn't been shown directly in the crucifixion scenes in official footage yet, but fans have caught glimpses: a blood-stained purple robe, a crown of thorns biting into his forehead, dirt and wounds smeared across his face. It's all there in leaked photos and videos. And in one chilling image, Jonathan is seen resting against the cross, eyes closed, body broken, a faint smile on his lips. That smile doesn't feel triumphant. It feels like surrender. He's not acting. He's becoming the pain. And yet, even in this heartbreak, there's beauty. Cast members have shared stories of how filming these scenes brought them closer, not just as performers, but as people. They hold hands off camera, they pray together, they cry together. And Dallas' wife, Amanda, appears at the set during the most intense moments, standing beside her husband as he captures something that millions will never forget. This isn't just a show anymore. This is something deeply spiritual. And whether you're religious or not, what's coming in Season 6 will shake you. But what's even more intense is that we've only scratched the surface. There's more coming, more blood, more betrayal, and one final act that no one is ready for. In the next section, we'll go deeper into the brutal Roman scenes, the mocked robe, the crown, and how Matthew's gospel is being brought to life in chilling detail. Get ready for more. Because if you thought the hammering was hard to watch, the mocking will break you. If the nailing to the cross is the peak of agony, what comes just before it is pure humiliation. The Chosen Season 6 is not holding anything back. The latest leaks show that the production has fully recreated the disturbing scenes described in Matthew 27. It begins in the Praetorium, the Roman headquarters where Jesus is dragged in front of an entire battalion. This is where they begin to mock him. They tear off his clothes and wrap him in a deep purple robe, a false symbol of royalty. Then comes the crown of thorns, twisted, brutal, and shoved onto his head with no mercy. Blood begins to flow immediately, not as a trickle, but as a steady stream running down his face and soaking into the robe meant to mock him. Fans have spotted Jonathan Roumie in full costume in a leaked image, standing between takes with the crown still resting on his head. But what's haunting is the look in his eyes. It's not fury or even sadness. It's surrender. He looks like a man who knows he's walking into death, yet doesn't resist it. His posture, the heaviness in his stance, says everything. This is not just performance. This is immersion. And as the Roman soldiers circle around him, mocking him as King of the Jews, you begin to feel sick not from gore, but from how real it all feels. The actors playing the Roman guards are intense, fully in character, laughing, pointing, shoving him around. Some fans even reported that one of the takes had to be stopped because the emotion became too much for the cast to handle. And in the background of one scene, we catch a glimpse of Matthew himself, yes, the very author of this gospel account, watching from the shadows. You can almost feel what the writers are doing here. They're not just showing us the event. They're showing us the ones who later told the world about it. You see the trauma being born in the eyes of those disciples. You see Mary Magdalene frozen in horror. You see Mother Mary barely able to stand. And then there's Claudia, Pilate's wife, who, in the gospel, tried to warn her husband not to crucify Jesus. Here, she looks trapped, as if she knows what's happening is wrong but can't stop it. Her pain adds another layer of depth. especially for fans who've watched her character quietly grow into a voice of conscience over the past few seasons. And yet again, Dallas Jenkins is present for all of it. He's not directing from a distance, he's sitting with the actors, taking time between scenes to talk with them, hug them, and remind them why this story matters. At one point, Amanda Jenkins joins him, wiping tears from her eyes. And fans online are noticing this doesn't feel like a production team anymore. It feels like a family going through something together, something sacred and devastating. Jonathan posted recently about how this role has consumed him, how he's lived with that cross, that robe, those wounds for weeks. He couldn't say much due to his NDA, but his words were enough. This is the hardest thing he's ever done, and he needs our prayers. But the blood doesn't stop there. Another leak shows a crew member painting deep red streaks down the back of a man presumed to be Jonathan. The skin looks raw, torn. It's preparation for the scourging, the Roman torture that took place before the crucifixion. That's what makes this season so overwhelming. It's not just a single scene of pain. It's layer after layer, betrayal, mockery, blood, beating, nails. And we haven't even reached Golgotha yet. There's something especially haunting about the image of the cross itself, which we've now seen up close thanks to another Instagram post by Jonathan. He stands beside it, hands crossed, body tired, face smeared with blood, and still, behind the pain, there's peace. That's what's so disturbing and beautiful at the same time. Jonathan isn't just showing us Jesus' suffering. He's showing us his choice to endure it. Coming up in the next section, we'll dive into the crucifixion scene itself. Overwhelming flood of blood, the moment the cross is raised, and what the cast has said about shooting the most devastating moment in The Chosen's history. Don't look away now, because the worst is yet to come. Now comes the moment no one is prepared for, the crucifixion itself. Even after witnessing the mocking, the robe, the crown, and the brutal beatings, nothing compares to the emotional and physical weight of seeing the cross actually raised. Leaked behind-the-scenes footage confirms what many feared and expected. The Chosen is not holding back, not with the blood. Not with the silence. Not with the anguish that settles over the set like a storm. You can feel it in the way the camera lingers on the wooden beam. You can hear it in the wind captured in the raw, unedited audio. And most of all, you can see it in the faces of those watching it unfold. Disciples, followers, Roman guards, and even the production crew standing just out of frame. In one particular shot that fans are now circulating, the cross lies flat on the ground. A figure, likely Jonathan Roumie or his body double, is strapped to it. You can't see the face clearly, but you can see the nails being prepared. Not props, not light tricks. These are massive, cold iron nails, real enough to make your stomach churn. A Roman soldier stands over him with a hammer raised high. There's no sound, just that awful stillness. And then the hammer drops. One blow, then another. The footage cuts out before we see the full scene. But the silence from fans who've seen even this glimpse says everything. This isn't a dramatization. It's a gut punch. From the way the cast has been reacting, it's clear these scenes have broken them emotionally. Leaked reports from insiders on set mention cast members stepping away mid-scene, needing air, needing silence, needing time, not because of the heat or long hours, but because what they're watching is just too much. Liz Tabish, who plays Mary Magdalene, was reportedly seen sitting off to the side between takes, shaking and in tears. Noah James, who plays Andrew, was spotted praying alone behind the set wall. And Jonathan Roumie, he's barely seen outside of the scene itself. It's as if he's completely submerged in the role, barely surfacing for breath. The amount of blood used in this sequence is staggering. Red paint mixed with oil and dust is smeared across the cross, Jonathan's clothing, the ground, and even the Roman guards' arms and tunics. It's not just for shock value, it's historically accurate. The Roman form of crucifixion was torture, and The Chosen is making sure that brutality is felt. From earlier leaks, we had already seen pictures of Jonathan's back being painted with deep red streaks, simulating the wounds from the scourging. Now, with the cross being lifted upright, we see the full effect. The blood runs down his arms, his feet are bound. His body hangs with terrifying stillness. No music, no speeches, just pain. Dallas Jenkins has always spoken about the emotional toll of this show, but now, it's different. Now we're seeing him crack too. One leaked video shows him wiping tears as the camera rolls, his hand over his mouth, barely able to watch. And still, he continues. Between takes, he walks to the actors, offering quiet support. He whispers to them, holds their hands. Amanda, his wife, has become a constant presence during these days, not just for Dallas, but for the entire team. You can see her in the background of a few frames, arms crossed, tears in her eyes, watching the story of Christ's death be told in a way that's never been done before on a TV series. Jonathan himself posted a quiet message on Instagram after filming this sequence. No spoilers, no photos, just a simple image of a wooden cross and a caption that read, "This has been the most emotionally taxing experience of my career. I'm grateful. I'm undone. Please keep praying for us." That post was met with thousands of comments from fans, cast members, and fellow actors, many of whom expressed how deeply the show has already affected them and how unprepared they are for what's coming next. But if the pain of the crucifixion is this overwhelming, what comes after may bring even more questions, grief, and emotional weight. In the next section, we'll look at how The Chosen plans to release these devastating scenes, how a full-length crucifixion film will conclude Season 6, and what cast members have hinted at about the resurrection arc already being written. You may think you've seen everything but The Chosen. It's just getting started. If everything we've seen so far has left fans speechless, then the final blow comes not just from what's being filmed but how it's being delivered. Jenkins has confirmed that the last episode of The Chosen Season 6 won't be a regular episode at all. It will be a full-length feature film releasing in theaters on March 12, 2027, dedicated entirely to the crucifixion. That means everything, the mocking, the torture, the agony on the cross will be shown not just on a screen in your home, but on the massive, towering canvas of a cinema. And this changes everything, because this isn't just another dramatic moment in a series. It's the turning point of the entire story. It's the culmination of everything Jesus has taught, suffered, and carried. And it will be overwhelming. According to cast interviews and insider leaks, this theatrical episode is being treated with the gravity and reverence of a sacred event. The set has been restructured to accommodate sweeping camera angles, longer, unbroken takes, and emotionally raw performances. Every detail is being crafted to deliver maximum emotional impact because when this releases in theaters, Dallas knows that audiences won't be able to pause or look away. They'll have to sit through it all, and that's the point. This isn't just a scene to be watched. It's an experience to be endured. And what fans are now starting to realize is that the crucifixion isn't being told for the sake of show kids being told, because this is the moment that defines The Chosen. The betrayal by Judas, the silence of Peter, the screams of Mary, the emptiness of John. Every character's arc has been moving toward this. And now, in Season 6, all of their pain and confusion is crashing into the final hour of Christ's suffering. Leaked footage even shows the actors reacting in real time not to scripted lines, but to the sight of Jonathan hanging from the cross. These are not rehearsed reactions. These are genuine emotional breakdowns. Liz Tabish, Mary Magdalene, reportedly couldn't speak after filming. Paris Patel Matthew has stayed silent on social media, which fans believe is out of respect for how emotionally heavy the last few scenes have been. And the leaks keep coming. One crew member shared an off-the-record photo of the editing room, frame frozen on the crucifixion scene. The caption, "This one broke me." That says it all. The editors, the crew, the makeup team, even the extras playing background, Romans, everyone is being affected. And this is before the world even sees it. What will happen when millions of fans around the world gather in theaters to watch their beloved Jesus suffer like never before? How will they react when Jonathan's blood-streaked face appears larger than life? His voice choked in agony, his body barely breathing. Will they be able to sit through it without weeping? Jenkins has also revealed that the crucifixion scenes were intentionally scheduled at the end of their production timeline, partly for logistical reasons, but also to give the cast time to prepare. For Jonathan especially, these days have been isolating. He's been seen spending time alone, praying, meditating, staying quiet. He's become so intertwined with Jesus' pain that it's become hard to separate the actor from the character. And this is exactly what fans are responding to. They're not just watching a show anymore. They're witnessing a spiritual journey unfold in real time. And when it hits theaters, that line between actor and savior will blur in ways we've never seen on screen before. Meanwhile, fans are already preparing. Some are organizing prayer groups to watch the crucifixion episode together. Others are planning to buy out entire theaters for community screenings. Social media is filled with warnings. Prepare your heart. This will be intense. This is not just a show. And they're right. The Chosen has always been different, but now it's entering holy ground, and Dallas knows it. That's why he's poured everything, every tear, every prayer, every dollar into this final moment. Because he knows once that cross is raised and once the sky turns dark, there's no going back. But what happens after death? Is this truly the end? Just the beginning. In the final section, we'll explore what Season 6 leaves unresolved. The resurrection foreshadowing we're already seeing, and the fan theories swirling about Season 7, which could take us even deeper into the aftermath of this most sacred tragedy. The cross may be the climax of The Chosen Season 6, but it is not the end. As fans reel from the intensity of the crucifixion, there's already a quiet anticipation building beneath the grief and expectation that something greater is coming. While the final episode will leave us broken, bloody, and breathless, we've begun to see subtle hints that the story doesn't stop there. In fact, the resurrection has already been seeded behind the scenes. Though Jenkins has not officially revealed what parts of the resurrection will appear in Season 6, some members of the cast have quietly hinted that scenes following the death of Jesus have already been discussed and possibly filmed. If that's true, then Season 7 could open not in despair, but in a miracle. Jonathan Roumie himself recently posted a cryptic quote on Instagram: "Darkness lasts a moment, light lives forever. No explanation, no image." But fans were quick to connect the dots. It's the kind of line that only makes sense if you know what comes after the crucifixion. The grief we've been shown, the shattered disciples, the mourning women, the silence that falls over Golgotha's soul building towards something, and the Chosen may be saving that something for a final, unexpected moment. Maybe it's a glimpse of the empty tomb, maybe it's the flash of light inside the cave, or maybe, just maybe, it's Mary Magdalene running breathlessly to tell the others, he is not here. He has risen. One thing is clear. Season 7 will not be about building to the cross. It will be about what happens when the world realizes the cross didn't end the story, it ignited it. And if the crucifixion broke the cast, imagine what the resurrection will do to them and to us. Fan theories are already swirling. Will we see Thomas touch his wounds? Will Peter be forgiven in person? Will we witness the road to Emmaus? And most of all, will we see the resurrected Jesus as Jonathan has never portrayed him before? Not bloodied and broken, but radiant, renewed, and glorified. But until then, all eyes remain on Season 6. Jenkins has said that this is the most important chapter of The Chosen so far, and after everything we've seen, it's hard to argue with him. From the mocking to the blood-soaked cross, from the silent grief of the disciples to the cries of Mary, from the empty stares of the Romans to the trembling prayers of the crew behind the camera, Season 6 is not just a television season. It's an emotional reckoning, a spiritual test, a sacred offering, and yet, even with all the heartbreak, there is something deeply hopeful in how everyone involved has responded. No one's treating this like just another show. Not the actors, not the writers, not the fans. There's a reverence that runs through every leaked frame, every shared photo, every whispered quote. And that's why, even after all the blood and pain, we know something beautiful is coming. It may not arrive until the final minutes. It may not even come until Season 7. But when it does, we'll be ready. Until then, we wait with hearts heavy, eyes open, and faith in what's still to come. Because The Chosen isn't just telling the story of Jesus. It's helping us feel it. And after this season, none of us will be the same.